Hi, my name is Aman Chaudhary, and today we will be talking about Gregg v. Georgia. The case debates whether Troy Gregg's death penalty use was constitutional or not. I say this specifically because there are 4 other cases that are being debated by the Supreme Court at the same time. For some context information about the time, 4 years prior, Furman v. Georgia took place, in which the death penalty was deemed unconstitutional unless it was thoroughly reviewed. However, this case specifically dealt with an accidental murder. So, again, the Supreme Court doesn't really have the power to execute here. So, states like Georgia oppose, and they set up a bifurcate process. What this means is once someone is convicted of a possible death penalty offense, the court now starts a new trial in which they determine whether the death penalty is actually applicable and whether they should impose the death penalty in this scenario. Back to 1976, Troy Gregg hitchhikes into a car, murders and robs the 2 men in the car, and by Georgia law he's sentenced to death. However, Troy Gregg argues that this is unconstitutional under the 8th and 14th Amendment. The 14th Amendment specifically provides a due process clause which says states must follow the first 10 amendments, and the 8th Amendment is included, which says that cruel and unusual punishments should not be allowed. This leads us to the question, is the use of the death sentence prohibited under the 8th and 14th Amendment as cruel punishment? In a 7-2 decision, the death penalty was deemed constitutional. These 5 justices believed that the death penalty must be carefully applied, and they believed in this scenario Georgia had done so by using the bifurcate process. And they also believed that the death penalty serves as a deterrent. Essentially, when you label something with a capital offense, less people are likely to commit that crime because they don't want to receive capital punishment. It's also important to note that there are 3 or 4 concurrent opinions, and each justice has their own explanation for why they believe that this was specifically constitutional. However, the big idea was that it acts as a deterrent and it was carefully applied. 2 justices, Brennan and Marshall, believed that the death penalty was unconstitutional. Brennan focused on the fact that the death penalty was actually a step backwards for America. He believed the act was barbaric and should be eradicated throughout the United States. Marshall agreed and also believed that capital punishment and death penalty specifically does not act as a deterrent and stop future crime. The 2 justices also believed that this would open the door for more capital punishment and more use of the death penalty on a larger scale. Rather than America being considered a modern nation, it would be hosting these barbaric acts. And for the most part, they were correct. Since 1976, 1,512 people have been executed by the government.